happening? Oh, hey, it's happening. Hey, we're live.
All
Just like
right,
that.
just like that. Seems like just yesterday we had
There you
started
go.
this.
Was it just yesterday? That is crazy talk.
I don't even know anymore. Let's start with the question we always start with, Adrian. How much sleep did you get in the last 24 hours?
I did well. Combined, I got maybe 6 hours.
That's not bad. Yeah, I think I got about the same. I think between maybe 12:30 and 6 a.m. So there's always those little bits we
Oh, no,
miss.
I slept for 6 hours during one talk.
Oh, 6 hours during one talk.
Just one talk. Yeah, it was a really intense sleep.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. I don't know where Ian is. I think it's weird. We see this frozen picture of Ian that looks kind of in the bottom corner like it's Ian, but it's not.
Oh, boy. That was weird. Because I
It's
think Ian was frozen, but his computer wasn't, because whoever was speaking would change how bright his face was lit up from the screen.
yeah, which is kind of spooky. It's like weekend at Bernie's. All right, so I guess it's just the North Americans. All the UK folk
Ian the
just
murder doll.
dropped off and went to bed. So
Yeah, well, it is kind of late.
it's only what, midnight for them? That's not too bad.
Really? According to my handy chart, yeah, it's midnight.
So what did you think?
What did I
fun?
think?
Yeah, the last 24 hours. Did you have fun?
I think this was awesome. I think it's amazing that we can get this many people. That first of all, we can queue up 24 people across time zones, all of whom have something to say about accessibility, all of whom have their own perspective on it. There's not a lot of overlap on some of the talks. So it's amazing to me that there's that much wealth of knowledge and that people are willing to stand up or sit down. One person stood up in front of a webcam and just talk about their thing. I think that is awesome, and it's so much cheaper than, in my case, driving to your city on Saturday to see a conference.
That's true. There is that little conference happening. Well, camp. Let's not oversell it here. We already had our conference this year, but that's not about us. It's about the last 24 hours. I mean,
yeah,
I think you're right. I think we saw some amazing talks this time, and we had speakers from. Well, we had our first ever speaker from Indonesia last night with Rinaldi, and that was pretty cool. Talking about the Internet of Things. I don't think we've ever had a speaker from Alaska before. So
no, I don't think so.
I guess that's. Maybe they're closer together. But anyways, we had some pretty spread out speakers this year, which was pretty rad. I mean,
the Philippines was offset from me by a full 12 hours, so I think he was speaking at 10 a.m. his time.
It was, yeah. That's why he looked so fresh and relaxed.
I know, right?
But I mean, at the same time, probably my favorite talk of this ID24 was Stefan, and it was 10 p.m. for him, and the energy level was amazing. And I think I know why. He presented that entire talk standing up. He had a standing boom mic. He had a pretty slick setup, but you could hear it. You could hear that he sounded like he was standing up, like the energy there. And yeah, and the talk was fantastic too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a
great presentation.
Oh, yeah, Ian's here. All right.
Hey.
It's not a murder doll.
But yeah, it was a really, really, fun bunch of hours. I've got about 6 or 7 talks I need to go back and watch that I didn't get to see. Pretty much in between midnight and 6 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even get to see the one of the talks I said I wanted to see in John McNabb, the switch control talk. So I need to go back and watch that too.
Yeah, that was a good talk. It was nice to see some of the hardware represented on screen as well, and we had some good questions coming in on that too. People who were asking. People who don't have experience with switch control, but do have experience with screen readers and keyboard-only navigation, and trying to figure out if that experience translates directly or not. So there were some thoughtful questions and some good answers in there at the end as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and two good presenters with John and Raji as well.
Yes.
So yeah, that worked very well.
Yeah, John is one of my A11Y TO buddies, but that aside, he is sort of an underrated superstar in Toronto. He's been kicking around for years. Nobody really knows who he is because he just keeps quiet and just kicks butt in the background and just, does his thing. But yeah, the guy knows his stuff and he's super smart and, kind of honored to call the guy a friend. Ian, what was your favorite talk? What do you like?
I mean, Stefan's was great. I also really enjoyed Hidde de Vries. His was one of my picks as well. and I did get to see it, and it was really, really good. What else? I thought Almero's talk on React accessibility was really strong. Lots and lots of good advice in there, and I really liked Vasily's talk on exclusive design. It's a really nice counterpoint to the inclusive design principles we've worked on at TPG. And as I said to Amy, I mean, now I have somewhere to send people when they ask how to learn about accessibility.
That's very true.
Really helpful.
I thought Joe's talk was pretty incredible. The pain talk.
Yep.
It was, something a lot of us probably don't think of, but a lot of us will probably be forced to think of. I think, Adrian, you touched on it in your your selfish accessibility talk as well, that, this kind of, we're all hurtling towards this sort of, non-perfect sort of life. And Joe is sort of wrapped that up nicely for us today.
Yeah, that was really good. It's something that I'm starting to experience as well with a little bit of RSI. So it's
my advice to you both is just stop aging. It's really that.
Yeah,
I don't know why this is so difficult for everybody.
Yeah.
Joe did have a good joke in there that I thought was amusing, which was the pain scale 1 to 10, and it shows all the progressively more pained faces, and then from 11 to 100, it's a smiling face, and it just says Irish. I thought that was funny, especially his delivery, because it's right in the middle of this serious talk and this tough subject, and then he drops one of those in there.
That was pretty good.
That's Joe.
But yeah, I think we had a pretty solid. I mean, 2 in 1 year. I mean, that's 48 hours we've stayed awake so far this year for our passion.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel it now.
I got to build somebody for this.
Come on, it's only 7 p.m. We also had someone mention Clout for the first time in a while. That was pretty cool.
I forgot about Clout.
They sent me a 2-pack of cider once through a perk, which was pretty rad. Never drank it though. I think I forgot it at my old house when I moved. And Estelle's talk last night was pretty great too. Sort of showing some of the JavaScript she wrote and diving into code a little bit.
Don't you mean this morning?
Well, I guess for you. For me,
yesterday,
it was 11. It was 11
Whatever,
p.m.
Ian.
11 p.m. for me.
Ian's showing off how ahead of us he is.
That's true. These future time traveling types.
Yeah. We are in the future.
Yeah. Estelle had some really nice nuggets in there. I liked how she talked about videos in hero images, and that her first piece of advice is just don't do it. But it's she approaches it very practically. Like, if you're going to do it, here's some really simple optimizations, and turning off audio and prioritizing your source order are huge and simple, and you don't have to be a very good developer to know how to do that. Those are pretty simple tasks to do. I
mean, that's sometimes feels like 50% of being a accessibility consultant. Please don't do this, but if you've got to, it's how you should do it.
Yeah.
I had 2 moments over the last 24 hours where I really felt like the speakers were speaking directly to me. One was during Aaron's talk when he said, "You can have your cake and eat it too," because I was eating cake when he said that. And I was like, is my camera on? Is he trolling me? The second was earlier today when I fed my cat at 5 p.m. and the next title of the next talk was Mystery Meat, and the entire apartment smelled like cat food at the time. So that was another one where I was like, wow, like it's all just coming together for me.
It's an appropriate title.
Yeah. I mean, my cat eats the good stuff.
What are you drinking?
Diet Coke.
No, it wasn't. Okay. Hey, you know what? If I look over on the Twitters as I distract us from Billy's poor choice of drinks,
Charlie Pike's poor choice of drinks.
Whatever. Well, anyway, I'm going to totally mispronounce his name, but Mikolaj Ronicki from I think his account is from Poland. He indicated his favorite ID24 talks were Barclays exclusive design, VR accessibility, and pain. what's cool is that we have somebody who was watching that many talks. You know, the numbers say people watch more than one talk, but it was nice to see how many people were also coming back for talk after talk after talk. So,
Yeah, and they're really
Nikolai, thanks for that feedback.
they're really spread out. I mean, our VR talk by Jesse Anderson was the second talk, I think, and then
Yeah.
we had
I think this
David
person got my
Caldwell.
stupid eye.
David Caldwell from Barclays, which was a great talk. It's good to see that such a large organization is putting so much investment into accessibility. That was, I don't know, what time was that? That was our 12th talk, so basically at the end of the first half, and then Joe was this evening. So
that's
that is a long day.
Well, I say we give this person a JAWS license. What do you say?
I like the way you're thinking, Billy.
Let's do it. We just had our first 90-day JAWS license winner. Well, our first on this show.
So Nikolai, if you're listening, DM us your email address and we'll get you a license. And also, please include a phonetic pronunciation of your name. And I will preemptively apologize now for getting it wrong.
I want to give a shout out to a couple other people. Deborah Edwards Onoro. I'm going to mess up that name every time I say it. But Deborah has been amazing the last couple of hours, tweeting up a storm, keeping the conversation going. And Charles Hall, he also tweeted quite a bit and watched a lot of the talks today. So those two, thank you very much for sticking around and doing your thing and keeping the conversation going. It was great.
And talking about pronunciation, we did get a tweet from HTML5 Chewbacca, but I'm afraid we don't have a Farouk language pack for JAWS, and the download speed between Earth and Kashyyyk is just terrible. So,
is it Kashyyyk?
You know,
I think Twitter actually tried to tell us that. I think Twitter tried to tell us it was in German. when
Twitter just doesn't know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to understand. It looks like HTML5 Chewbacca was asking a question. Sorry, HTML5 Chewbacca, we cannot help you, and there is no Wookiee language pack for JAWS.
Yet.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yet.
We
We should talk to them about that.
All right. Well, we are almost out of time here for our pre or our after party here. Not much of an after party, more like, just a few guys.
So I think we've got another license to give away, and I think we'll give that to Adina Holter, I think, who is already planning, I think, on how to catch up on ID24.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, she was kind enough to tweet the playlist for those who did not join earlier in the day, and that is actually the best part about ID24, right? You didn't miss anything if you missed something. You can go back to YouTube. You can watch the entire playlist again, starting right now, or maybe spread it out a little bit. But if you want to stay up, look, it's fine. Ian, Adrian, and I each give you all permission to call in sick to work tomorrow and take a professional development day and just watch the entire playlist again.
Well, just tell everybody at work that you're watching Stranger Things, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, take a day. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, sure.
They'll let you do it. They let me do it. I did want to point out that those JAWS licenses, Kat Posson earlier asked us to regift her JAWS license, and Deborah Edwards Onora asked us to regift her JAWS license as well, because
and Joe
they
as
seem
well.
to have them. And yes, and his has been distributed.
Yes, so
we're good at this.
Thank you for those three for not only winning them, but for gifting them back to our community so we can give them to more people.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we're almost out of time here, guys. What do you say, same time-ish next year?
I think so, yeah. I think
next year,
we'll be back.
Like 3 months.
No, I don't think we're doing that again.
We'll do a full calendar year.
Yeah, let's do a full calendar year.
Yeah, it's going to take me that long to reclaim this beauty sleep.
I'm still growing my hair out from last time.
Well, it looks like it's just focused around your chin and nowhere else. But keep working, man. Push
Shut
hard.
your mouth.
Never. All right, gents. Have a good night. To everyone out there, we're done here. To everyone out there, thank you very much on behalf of the Paciolo Group and our proud supporters at Barclays and the Center for Inclusive Design. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see everybody next year.